Ernesto Garay is an award-winning poet who holds 2 master's degrees, one in comparative literature and one in ethnic studies. Ernesto teaches ethnic studies at the Lake County campus of Woodland Community College. He also teaches ethnic studies poetry to high-risk K-12 students and adults as a form of healing, self-expression, and culturally responsive action using free verse and storytelling. Most recently, Ernesto's poetry collection, Reverberating Voices, has been accepted for publication by Flower Song Press. Congratulations, Ernesto. Traversing the borders of El Salvador, Nicaragua, Mexico, and California, it speaks about the experience of immigration, racism, healing the spirit, displacement, and love during the Central American civil wars of the 1970s and 80s. Ernesto is passionate about social justice and advocating for the Latino immigrant community. Please welcome Ernesto Garay.
Thank you, Sandy, for that beautiful introduction. First of all, I want to welcome my friends, family, students from Woodland Community College and colleagues. Also want to thank my support network, the California Poets, Creative Sonoma, the Sonoma County Poet Laureate Committee, the Parking Lot Poets, Flower Song Press, and last but not least, thank you, Rivertown Poets, for inviting me to read tonight. I'm going to start off with my Oh Beautiful Monarch Butterfly poem. It's one of my favorites, and I used to hear a lot of stories from my grandmother from Nicaragua about monarch butterflies when I was 5 years old. So one night I dreamt about the monarch butterfly. So 2 days later after my dream, I decided to write about it. Oh, monarch butterfly, I dream deeply with the monarch butterfly as the vision comes to me, oh, so vividly. Fluorescent orange and black, it soars, sputters, and flutters against the wind. I examine its true colors, visioning how this butterfly is born. I get distracted by the brown soily dirt as the redwood trees are grounded so deeply underneath its surface. The wind rustles the green leaves as the wind blows and blows and blows and blows. Then it comes to me like an idea that comes to the deep thinker that examines it like an endless feast for the senses. The monarch butterfly begins as a caterpillar creeping through the moist dirt as the sun feeds it with radiant power. Then it goes into chrysalis, converting into a pearl. The monarch butterfly sputters and sputters in front of my captivated eyes. It awes me with beauty that comes from ashes, some say. I've fallen upon a curtain of boundless sky. I greet the butterfly that didn't pour from the sky. This creature, a borderless butterfly, fluidly flying, feminine in nature, and can't fly over any barrier. A springtime soul between flowers and borders, sowing seeds of peace for the global world. Queen butterfly, she's without walls, without guards, resituates herself on top of the milkweed, nourishing her flight with visibility, existence, and light. Monarch butterflies in swarm can move mountains. They are our physical ancestry, human, animal, reptile, shellfish, plants, as well as human consciousness. They frame all the raw material from gyration into stars, then planets and solar systems in full flight, shaking Earth. 2 butterflies make love in front of my eyes, sparking memory of spirits of deceased ancestors who mysteriously reappear at the same time in the central hills of Mexico. Butterflies flutter in an endless stream into a few oil mill fir trees, where they take roost and sleep so deeply. Sleep so deeply. Sleep so deeply. Thank you. This next poem is actually inspiration for the writing of my first book. The title is Reverberating Voices. And this is dedicated to the children that never made it across the border, that either disappeared or died trying to cross from places like from Central America and Mexico. The Reverberating Voices. Today I write my reverberating story, a thudding voice buried deep into the sea of the abyss, resuscitating the unconscious voices heaving from my tired mouth. Dust stuck to lips that open like blood scabs at the fringes of broken history. Can't throw my songs away, first sounds not lost to memory. Not all the words written on the empty pages could soak up the tears you feel for your lost migrant children. Not a peach or plum as innocent and lively as the palpitations of their red hearts. You wonder if your children still dream. But today I write my reverberating story. My heart longs for lingering healing, recording these words onto the empty white pages, believing that my dreams are the language of our ancestors. I must remember because they're ready to dismember. I must remember because they're ready to dismember. I must remember because they're ready to dismember. My humanity, history, dignity, and voice. My humanity, history, dignity, and voice. My humanity, history, dignity, and voice. I write my feelings close to my heart. I write my feelings close to my heart. I write my feelings close to my heart. Today, I write my reverberating story, loosening the wings from my words and letting them fly freely, multiplying into 1,000 voices, finding myself in them. Thank you. This next poem is actually inspired. I did an interview of a woman that crossed the border, who was a dear friend of mine. This poem is dedicated to her as she remembers or reimagines crossing the US-Mexican border, escaping the horrors of the Central American Civil War, crossing dreamer. I want to live in the United States among the American dreamers, the green-tailed hummingbird, gentle rain drops on the roof in the springtime, not among the garbage dumps, the inflated dollar and devalued peso. Not even the windowless house where we live in, along the plant where we work like the savage black mule. I dream out loud and sing to you Jose Jose's bolero, Amar y Querer, until my heart bursts and the yellow and speckled stars appear tonight. And I strap on my white Nikes and cross myself. Before I cross over to the other side of the grated fence, I finish this poem written to you. In my fluttering heart, I see your glistening eyes turn into a lioness. There is no turning back to where I have no name. Thank you. This next story is called The Relentless Farmworker. This is dedicated to Rafael Morales, who in 1951, he finally crossed the border after attempting 24 to 25 times to cross. He attempted to cross the border from Tuxtepec, Mexico. So the poem goes like this. In 1951, Rafael Morales, the relentless farmworker, rides the roaring gray bus from Oaxaca, Mexico on his way to Sonoma County, California. The exhaust's black smoke spits into her night sky, and the clitter and clatter of worn out tires outside and the chit chat inside knock together. His brown eyes are wide open like an aperture or shutter of a camera, blinking and blinking, focusing on his past as fragmented in flashes of American history. Rafael Morales, the relentless farmworker, deported from the US 24 to 25 times back to his bounded home country, the Tuxtepec, Mexico, lost as a horseshoe on the Westerner's map. When he crosses over and arrived to Sonoma County 2 months later, this time around on a sunny Sunday morning, the sun shine at him like never before. The magic beneath this unveiled sun, Rafael Morales, the relentless farmworker, during mass, prays to God to find another job. Seeing the Chevy light blue truck outside on board 3 to 4 braceros, one of them smiles with sheer delight, split ear to ear, tells him like a messenger from above that he has the job. And off he goes with them with a meager 50 cents, hardly making a sound in his deep pockets. Rafael Morales, the relentless farm worker, is on his way to Santa Rosa to the Grace Brothers Ranch, where he will pick golden prunes and the white unicorn roams freely. History pushes its way to the present. Harold McCullaugh, his boss, compassionate like an overflowing reservoir, helps him attain the miraculous green card. Rafael Morales, the relentless farm worker, now as legal as the American in US history, primed for the American dream. Thank you. My next poem is dedicated to the full moon. I wrote it in 2012 for the Lunada, basically a celebration of poetry in honor of the full moon. So the poem goes like this. The full moon's energy inspires ocean water currents to flow in several directions like the wind that blows on the four corners of the earth. Its periodic light peers through the leaves and the wind blows against a fierce wind. Deep roots, the tree intertwine into the soil. The Mother Earth's ombligo, the umbilical cord, is buried to mark the birth of a child. A yellow moth wavers frantically under the moon and wings speckled with golden dots. Merry mystic man whispers into the sorcerer's ear. He mentions to her that this luminous light reflects the energy of a dream, and the moth, an ally and spirit, is a message to awaken to the light. The wondrous effulgence beams on the ocean. The moon star crossed and spiritual might exerts its force on the white sparrow. While it catches flight, one yellow star or two besides its brightness, the full moon, a satellite of life, beautifies the mysterious sky. We are connected to the splendid light. This next poem is called My Red Dress. This is a true story that was shared to me by a woman that I met, and she was really hurting to share her story. So I said, you know what? I'll hear your story. And I called her back and I said, hey, I wrote a poem, and is that okay? And I read it to her and she said, please share my poem. But of course, I don't want you to share my name. I go, of course, I never will do that. But here's my gift to the universe in regards to her story. And I name her Laura, and I thank her for the story. My red dress. My body is for sale, shining out of necessity. A prostitute, I need to beckon men from my window, ready to wear my red dress like spilling red paint. I will splash out from my window onto men's eyes. A prostitute, I need to beckon men from my window. El Coyote took all my money and purse, victimized. I will splash out from my window onto men's eyes. Stranded in Tijuana, want to earn money to cross over. El Coyote took all my money and purse, abandoned. Luis, my husband, migrated to San Francisco. I love him. Stranded in Tijuana, want to earn money to cross over. Like me, fled the Nicaraguan revolution, needed refuge. Luis, my husband, migrated to San Francisco. I love him. He's my plant of the most tender kind, born a wet night. Like me, he fled the Nicaraguan revolution, needing refuge. Luis, I miss you like the sky misses the stars and flowers miss the rain. He's my plant of the most tender kind, born a wet night. My heart bleeds pain as hurt erupts every place in my body. Luis, I miss you like the sky misses the stars and flowers miss the rain. One day I will see you again and birth your child. My heart bleeds pain as hurt erupts every place in my body. Torn away from my body, singing a song of longing and separation. One day I will see you again and birth your child. I yearn for home like a lost nomad with no earth to stand on. Torn away from my country, singing a song of longing and separation. need to put on my red dress to work from my window. I yearn for home like a lost nomad with no earth to stand on. I have no choice but to lure men, my lottery ticket out of here. This next poem is about the virus outbreak that exploded in San Francisco during the 1980s as a result of the AIDS virus. I worked at the Diamond Heights Safeway in Diamond Heights from 1985 to 1986. And I crossed paths with men that had the AIDS virus. And during that time, I didn't know what AIDS was. So I really lived in fear during that time. And I wrote this poem, and I tried to reimagine and that history the best way I can, but I needed to write about it. And this is the way it came out. The virus in San Francisco. Please, boomerang, hangover, go away. I'm lost in my headache as it pounds my brain, displaced my body and in pain, insane I have become, becoming a heavy drinker, sucking up brass monkey and one-shotted Jägermeister, partying at the Studio West parking lot last night, hanging out and having fun with Doug and Ricky in San Francisco past 2 o'clock in the morning as God laughs from above with scorn. Saturday morning, I'm out of sync, out of rhythm with nature. I can't hear the mockingbirds sing their song. I drop 2 Tylenols in an attempt to inspire the blood flow into my head, hoping that pain goes away into the distant past. I would like to face my demons eye to eye. With the red Safeway punch-in card in hand like a Visa card, I slide it straight across the punch-in box. Beep. It beeps like the smoke detector that sounds off at my mom's house as she makes those mouth-watering pupusas for us to eat. My stomach gurgles not once, not twice, but 3 times. I want to eat. I want to munch on that tortilla with melted queso. Booyah! While war is being waged in Central America and the US, as many flee and blood spills over and across the US-Mexican border, I am at war with AIDS because Joey, my store manager, is working today. Story has it that he has the AIDS virus, that weird and strange illness, inspiring rain death. It's an attack from hell. White, Latino, Black, gay men in Frisco are dropping like flies. Why? I don't know. All I know is that he has it. And Joey's voice thunder strikes me. Hello, he says. Hello, I reply, as my heart is a maze of desires. His enlivened smile, one that is unthreatening and loving as a fragile flower, opening to the warmth of spring. Joey is just as human as me. I greet him with a straight, full smile and politely say hi, hoping he doesn't offer to shake my hand. He's so close that I could feel his blue eyes. The day I found out about his reddish pink polka dot scattered scars on both of his arms, signaling AIDS, some say fear of imminent death had begun to stab at my mind and thoughts. It's hard to face Joey. The automatic door split wide open in front of my blinking eyes. I walk out like an ant escaping the rain to the Diamond Heights parking lot to gather the Safeway carts. The AIDS virus. How am I going to avoid Joey all day? I must hide, but the supply closet is not a comfortable place to escape. So why is death on my shoulders and following me around? The clock ticks and ticks. I pray to Jesus that I'm not affected with the virus. My story reminds me that the virus reflects the dark clouds one encounters in one of those Stephen King sci-fi novels. The one that highlights the virus outbreak somewhere in the US. What's the title of that novel? It outlines the release of a strain of influenza that is modified for biological warfare. I'm going to transition to the second book that I'm working on. I'm documenting what's happening with COVID. And the name of my second book is in Time of the Pandemic. So this is dedicated to my son. Pakal, I need to hug and I need to kiss you on your smooth Mayan skin. Warm cosmic baby silk smooth, sheepling flowers, cacao leaves, turquoise, a bendición isatma de la estrella dorada, serpent gold, blessings, lumbres, you gleam, de las cumbres, you became spirit, you became cura de dentro de palenque, palenque salt, hands I blend to your face, king, kindred soul, sacred son of sun goddess, cardiac flow, heartbeats like a drum, hard, no hugs or kisses from others, COVID-19, asymptomatic blues, pakal, need to kiss and hug you. His next poem is dedicated to the healers and the workers that are putting their lives on the line during this pandemic. And it's called The Chore. And to me, the chore is we need to work together, we need to activate together, we need to come together, and it doesn't matter what color we are, we need to just activate and fight for social justice and also reclaim our world from corruption and chaotic politics. The Chore. From the diamond clear sky, fullness in the soul of the earth, this energy that connects all things, the chore, fills the earth. No easy thing, the battle at the apex timelessness. Buddhist monk chants, dry bushes to the fire and love is invisible and visible. But here in us, generation after generation, nuggets, peace upon shattered oceans, world leaders, luminous doctors, nurses, and poets, all human leaders, columns of sage smoke, seed and root. Sun, 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 sings the robin, from the day your heart wants more. Heaven's grip, heavens above grip 7.7 billion candles. This matrix that binds all things, the chore softens the earth, and no thing, let's activate collectively. This next poem is called Let's Breathe. It's in memory of the public lynching of George Floyd that has activated the global world into action. That this funny looking phone that recorded that public lynching has inspired a civil rights movement in the 21st century, and it's transpiring in front of our eyes. The revolution is not being televised, but it's transpiring. God bless America. Let's breathe. Proud George Floyd, although your black neck crushed by white cops, by that white cop's cancerous, cold blue, unrhythmic heart and killed you, 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Police hold neck splintered and crushed into shattered, shrieking bones, not gone, silent. May 25th, Minneapolis, he suffocated and murdered you. A hate crime, your last words, mama, need mama, mama. But you live on, you live on. Trayvon Martin, forehead down, red stains the lawn, gripping evidence, hitting home, the hoodie, white shooter stated. For you, we march on, hold hands, step forward and back against the dispirited military force of the National Guardsmen, police and ICE, but we maneuver, march, commit, we commit anyways. Breonna Taylor, rewrite your name and inhale your breath. Today, our breath cannot be overpowered, our skin cannot be bloodied, collectively cannot be carved off. Each hand, each body cannot be shackled to the chasm. Slayer borders a mind body. We are extraordinary, boisterous, not quiet. As bloodstained roads scattered with golden noose rope and silent dark shadows that cannot revert back. See us, Andy Lopez. Here, see us, Emmett Till. Here, with us, proud George Floyd, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, a black brown body, sacred spirited. You live on, and Breonna Taylor all breathe and sing songs of peace, and the humble seeds beneath the intertwining tree roots crack open luminous light, essence, my ancestors, my palpitating portal. We mourn and harmonize as we write and document, capturing snapshots, load streams of history as we face a double disease, police brutality and COVID-19, and the mass deaths of Black, Latinos, Native Americans, folk contaminated. We activate, mobilize, and march beneath the exuberant cosmic facade. We are not your disease. Let's breathe. Vamos, respiramos, respiramos. Let's breathe. Let's breathe. Let's breathe like loud thunder. We are not your disease. Take a breath after that one. Whew. Sandra, how am I doing with time?
Ernesto, well, let's see, Ernesto. We're at just about 21 minutes. So maybe one more to wrap up.
Thank you.
That'd be great.
I want to close tonight, my reading tonight, because during this time of the pandemic, I've been having my Mayan ancestors, and Aztec ancestors in my mind. So as the way I connect with them is through prayer. And this is one of the prayers I actually came up with through poetry. My Mayan ancestors, I'm writing to connect with my DNA, my Mayan ancestors. I hear your melody, Itzamna. I feel your rain, Shak. I hear your 13 children sing songs of peace, combating the worst, Michelle. I taste your juicy corn and feel my heart palpitate as I ingest it, Yumkash. I feel your sunlight bake my skin as it browns some more, my dear Kinishao. I touch your first corn seed as I kiss Ernesto, my father, Hanaya. I am not afraid of darkness. I feel my left rib and blink as my family tree has been planted, Abush. I'm ready to fight the chaos and look at my enemies in the eye with my warrior words as I sip your cacao and I write your name down, Ixao. I remember that I am water, wind, and fire, seeing your dualistic reflection mirroring Quetzalcoatl as I lay down my life for the sheep, Kukakan. I write as I see the same equinox you saw many moons ago, and I feel the sun reflecting its shadows on the north staircase of Chichen Itza, and not forgetting the great serpent descendants to the ground. I write and immerse myself in your presence as the old man with jaguar ears dances and comes in full circle. I'm writing to connect with my DNA as I carry you in my tuned heart, my Mayan ancestors. Thank you.